Do you watch Succession, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, it's such a good show on HBO. So entertaining, so well written. The character who was protesting in New York City, it's like they pulled it directly out of Succession. Like they should use this footage as a part of the series. He couldn't be playing any more perfect to type based on that that clip. That's by you, right?
We're what?
It's near where you live,
yes,
right? Where the
yes.
protest was going on?
Very, very much so. But let me, since we're talking about, we'll give you the CPI number and inflation and all this in Ukraine in a second. Since we're talking, this guy's James Cromwell. He plays the Greenpeace-obsessed, environmentalist, smug, lib brother of the patriarch of the family in the show. That it's essentially a very loosely based on Fox is the idea behind the show, a massive media empire, and this brother just is rich because he's the brother and was there early on, and so now he's kind of the classic elite lib lunatic in the show. In real life, he super glues his hand a few blocks from where I live to the top of a Starbucks counter because the vegan milk prices are too high.
Can you imagine?
End the vegan upcharge now! When will you stop charging us more for vegan milk? When will you stop raking in huge profits while customers, animals, and the environment suffer? The senseless upcharge hurts animals.
So Clay, there's so much here. First of all, it's plant juice. It's not milk. Plants don't lactate, okay? There's no milk involved here. I understand they could say it's a branding thing, but, spell it M-Y-L-K or something, because it's not actually milk. And all the libs who get so mad at me, capitalism. It's more expensive for the vegan milk because it's more expensive.
Of all the things that you could protest in America right now, is there anything that you could protest that would make you more out of touch with America than the price of vegan milk? I mean, I hear that, and the reason why I say it feels like it should be on a television program is it's so easy to satirize out of touch, left-wing, let's be honest, rich people. If you are protesting the price of vegan milk, you are self-satirizing yourself to such an extent. It's almost impossible, Buck. If you and I were sitting around and we were like, hey, what's the most out-of-touch protest that you can think of? The price of vegan milk for your coffee being too high at Starbucks might win. Like, I don't know that we could come up with a more out-of-touch protest than
In fact, if they put this in the show Succession and this same Greenpeace environmental wacko commie actor had this as a scene, you'd be like, that's really funny. Like, that's a really, because he super glues his hand to the, can you imagine? You're the hourly wage employee at Starbucks. You're just trying to get through your day like everybody else and get your paycheck and go, and you've got this lunatic super gluing his hand to the desk. And beyond this, you sit here, you say to yourself, we could see a protest right now if he had done this somewhere and said, hey, we need to draw attention to the crazy high price, in fact, the scarcity of baby formula.
Yes, right.
I would say, you know what? Like, this guy's got a point. More people need to pay attention to this. But saying that your oat milk or your vegan soy turmeric latte is a little too pricey, you cannot make this stuff up. It's not real milk. This is utter madness.
Oh, well played.
Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you.
Also, if it's too expensive, drink water, right? You don't have to have coffee, which to your point on the baby formula shortage. And when did this idea, Buck, when did this come about? Because it started to happen at NBA games too, where these activists are trying to super glue themselves to things. Like they tried to super glue themselves to the basketball court now. This seems to be a new trend in protest that you super glue yourself to the venue in some way. When did this start, and how do they unsuper glue you, right? Like, it doesn't seem like it would be a very safe way to protest either, right? Like, I don't know how you remove
I'm not
a super
gluing anything
stick.
to anything. That sounds like a really bad idea. I don't know why anybody would think this is. I mean, at least do the old, handcuff yourself to the pipe or something, right? At least that seems a little more civilized.
I just don't get it. But this is, and imagine if you were, Buck, just busy at work. Like, let's say you were just trying to go in and get a coffee. And then you walk in and some guy is super glued himself to the counter. It's like, hey, this sucks.
I would have assumed if actor James Cromwell, who
also, by the way, was the president in some of the Jack Ryan movies, right? Like Clear and Present Danger, for some of our audience out there that might not know him from Succession.
Yeah.
He had, if you remember, I think it was in Clear and Present Danger.
He's in The Green Mile as well, if you remember The Green Mile. I think he's the one whose wife, is very sick and that actor.
If you watch movies at all, you would recognize this guy from, the last 25 years
I hate to say it. I mean, he's actually a good actor.
He's a great actor.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Put that aside. Yeah. But Clay, it's also amazing because, as we were saying, if you were constructing an out of touch, and he wasn't the only one. There are other people there like, make my soy milk cheaper, And I'm going to tell you this right now. The only males who get upset about soy milk jokes actually suffer from a lack of testosterone. Like there's like a thing, because otherwise, why do you care? If people say, "Oh, I have lactose intolerance," right? So then drink your almond milk. That's fine. People who take offense to this, it does kind of cut them for some reason. They get angry.